In May of 1966, a game so controversial that Sears refused to carry it was about to either die on the shelf or get saved live on national television. Retailers were calling it inappropriate. Some pulled it entirely. The company that made it was bracing for a total flop. Then Johnny Carson played it on The Tonight Show. Here's the thing about board games. We treat them like they've always just existed. Monopoly, Scrabble, Clue. But every single one of these was rejected, delayed, or nearly killed before it became something you probably have in a closet right now. 6 games. 6 almost failures. Let's start with the one that almost got banned. In 1966, 2 guys at a small ad agency in Minnesota, Rainier Geyer and Charles Foley, designed a game with a simple, ridiculous premise. A plastic mat, colored circles, and a spinner that tells you where to put your hands and feet. No board, no pieces, just people, tangled up, touching each other. That last part was the problem. In the 1960s, a game that involved physical contact between players, including occasionally players of different genders, was considered scandalous by a lot of retailers. Sears refused to stock it. Some critics called it sex in a box. Milton Bradley, the company that agreed to publish it, was seriously worried they'd made a 5-figure mistake. Then, on May 3, 1966, Johnny Carson played Twister on live television with actress Eva Gabor. And by the next morning, stores couldn't keep it in stock. 3 million units sold within the year. Twister nearly got banned for being scandalous.
Jay, we're playing Twister.
What's up, Jay? Hey, quit touching my butt.
The next game on this list didn't get banned. It just got completely buried, for a much simpler reason. There was a war happening. In wartime, Birmingham, England, a factory worker named Anthony Pratt spent his evenings during blackouts designing a murder mystery board game with his wife Elva, just to pass the time during the air raids. He called it Murder. In 1944, he filed a patent. By early 1945, a game company called Waddington's had seen it and loved it immediately. Then it sat. Post-war Britain was in the middle of a severe paper and material shortage, and a board game, however good, was nowhere near the priority list. The finished game didn't reach store shelves until 1949, 5 years after Pratt filed the patent, under a new name, Cluedo. In America, it launched the same year under a shorter name, Clue. It's since sold more than 150 million copies in over 40 countries. Clue lost 5 years to bad timing. This next game lost an entire decade to something worse. Nobody in the industry thought anyone would want to play it at all. Alfred Mosher Butts invented a word game during the Great Depression, originally under the name Lexico, then Crisscross Words. For roughly a decade, he pitched it to every major game company he could find. Every single one turned him down. Selchow and Ryder passed. Parker Brothers passed. The consensus was the same everywhere. A word game was too cerebral, too slow, and had no mass appeal. In 1948, a man named James Brunot bought the rights, simplified the rules, and renamed it Scrabble. It sold modestly, barely surviving, for 4 more years. Then in 1952, the president of Macy's played it on vacation, came home, and was stunned to find his own department store didn't carry it. He placed a massive order. Within a year, Scrabble was one of the best-selling games in the country. Real quick, if you're the kind of person who likes finding out your favorite games almost didn't exist, subscribe and drop a like. It genuinely helps. And I'm curious, out of these 3 so far, which one surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments, I read everyone. Okay, back to it, because the next one might be the most infamous rejection letter in board game history. In 1934, an unemployed salesman named Charles Darrow pitched a property trading board game to Parker Brothers. They rejected it, and didn't hold back on why. Their official rejection letter cited 52 separate design flaws, including that the game took too long to play, the rules were overly complicated, and there was no clear way to actually win. Darrow didn't wait for a second opinion. He started hand-producing sets himself and selling them locally around Philadelphia. Word spread, demand grew. A year later, Parker Brothers came back, and this time they wanted in. Monopoly became the best-selling board game in the United States within 12 months of its official release. Monopoly won over Parker Brothers by proving itself on the street first. 50 years later, a broke waiter in Seattle would use almost the exact same playbook. In 1985, a 23-year-old waiter in Seattle named Rob Angel invented a drawing and guessing game using nothing but a dictionary, a pencil, and a legal pad. He tried to get it into stores the normal way, and found out fast that major toy chains simply wouldn't accept an independent game with no track record. So he sold it himself, out of the trunk of his car, door to door, to any store that would listen, car dealerships, hair salons, even a real estate office. He got rejected constantly. He kept going anyway. Word of mouth did what the big chains wouldn't. Within 3 years, Pictionary was the best-selling board game in North America, and shortly after, the world. Pictionary got turned away by stores. Our last game got turned away by nearly every distributor at the biggest toy fair in the country, and came closer to actually bankrupting its creators than anything else on this list. In 1979, two Canadian journalists, Chris Haney and Scott Abbott, came up with the idea for a trivia board game after realizing pieces were missing from their Scrabble set. Building it took years, and it wasn't cheap. Haney and Abbott maxed out credit cards, took out loans, and brought on investors who went deep into debt right alongside them. When they finally brought it to the 1981 Toy Fair, almost no distributors wanted it. It was expensive to produce, and buyers weren't convinced. Their first year, they sold barely over 1,000 units, and lost money doing it. 3 years later, in 1984, Trivial Pursuit exploded. Over 20 million copies sold in the US alone that year, making it one of the best-selling games of the entire decade. 6 games. 6 moments where somebody in a position of power looked at something completely ordinary now and said, no. Every one of them is sitting in a closet or a game night drawer somewhere near you right now. If you like this one, go watch the video linked on the right. 6 everyday products that were considered total failures before they became things you probably own. Same idea, different shelf. I'll see you in the next one.